Hey, what's up, everybody? Great to see you out there. Hope you guys are doing great, and finally got this live stream going. We were running a little bit behind. I don't mean to blame it on Jackie or anything like that, but Jackie did want to make sure that he had his Crumbly casters ready and tuned up for this live stream. And I know some of you guys have your Crumbly casters out there too. I've got mine here. And that's because this live stream is totally dedicated to the memory of all of our good friends, our brother in blues, our brother in music and guitars, our brother in general, Keith Crumbly out there. The Jester, going to raise a glass here right at the beginning to him. And actually, yeah, let me get my fireball out. It's Keith Crumbly's nickname was Fireball, and it was his drink of choice. And me and Nikki have one here. Jackie and Kathy both have Fireballs. I'm going to open them for them. And I hear a few of you guys got yours ready, too, for the live stream. So I've also got an extra one here for Keith. So here's to you, brother. Cheers. Here's to Keith. Cheers. Cheers, you guys. And, you know, as sad as it is that Keith is gone, of course, we know that he would want us to be enjoying his memory and celebrating his memory. And so that's what this is all about, trying to stay positive and trying to think about all the good times we had together. If anyone wants to share any of the experiences they had with Keith or talk about him in the chat, I think it would be awesome so that we can just help feel good about this and kind of help get through this as a community, you know, because I know we're all sad about it. And I'm going to start maybe by showing, as you know, Keith built guitars, built cigar box guitars, and they were called Crumbly casters, and he actually built a couple for Jackie. One of them here with a Nikki license plate, and the other here with this little mint tin, and he's even got the Crumbly caster logo on that one up there. And what's that? That's what it sounds like. Oh my God. What's that on the inside? Oh, on the inside, Fireball candies.
What?
Nice. So Jackie's always keeping hidden compartments around with fireballs. And let me. And honestly, we were literally late for the live stream today because Jackie said we're not going to start until we find his Crumley casters. So Nikki and I were rummaging through the attic when we found him in a box up there. And then we also found in that box, this is no joke, I don't even remember where this came from. It says Jackie's brown bag. And I think this was like his emergency stash or something like that. But what's in here? Fireball. That's what's in there. I guess he was planning on, if he ever needed to make an would run down to Crumley's and they'd go off together probably and drink Fireball. That's just, I don't know where he got that. Well, I'm going to start playing a little music here. I've got a couple requests, and Ian requested this song. This one, he requested, he wanted to hear a little Sweet Home Alabama since Keith lived down in Alabama. He was a huge Alabama fan. I think most of his clothes said Alabama on them for the sports team down there. And so Ian requested a little Sweet Home Alabama, which I've never really played before, solo acoustic. So I'm going to try to do my best for you guys. I know the general, I've played it like before. I've strummed along to it, but I've never actually tried to do like a solo arrangement of it. But in honor of Crumley, I'm willing to try just about anything. Just about anything. So... Oh yeah, and it was when when we first met, Nikki and I first met, Keith. I almost said Jackie. That's funny. Keith and Jackie are actually twins, like in kind of a weird way. I'm starting a whole different story than what I just started talking about there, but um, it's funny because when Jackie went on the road with us, and we picked him up and took him along on our journeys, everyone always tried to figure out like who was Jackie, supposed to be. They always tried to find like a celebrity. We've heard all kinds of different things about who they think that the Jackie doll was supposed to be. And when we met Keith, it's like Jackie is a Keith doll, like pretty much. I mean, it's pretty crazy. They have the same personality. They make the same facial features. There's a good picture of Keith and Jackie together. And so that's why I think they've always been so close. And I don't know which one is the other one's power animal, but I can't quite figure that one out. But we met Keith when we were touring down in Alabama, and we were playing in Coleman, Alabama, which is where Keith lives. And there's a place called Berkeley Bob's Coffee House, which after they kind of close late night, they turn it into like a listening room and a concert hall. And so we played down there and met Keith's son, Matt Crumley. And after, I think it was the second show we played out there, Matt got Keith to come out, and Keith enjoyed it and was interested in all the guitars and started getting interested in building cigar box guitars and those kinds of things. And they invited us back eventually because Nikki and I were living in the RV full time, the gypsy van. And so we were just kind of roaming the country wild and staying, anywhere we could or anywhere we ended up. And but Keith was nice enough. Keith and the family was nice enough to let us, anytime we were in the area, come down there and hang out basically as long as we wanted to, plug in our RV into Keith's workshop. And Bjorn asked, what year was that? Do you know what year that was, Nikki? It was, yeah, it was, well, at least maybe like six years ago, something like that. It was a while ago, but I'm surprised like how long it was ago sometimes, because he still has some of the CDs that like I wish didn't exist anymore, like the ones that we recorded and hand burned and kind of like we didn't have them printed. We just wrote the labels out by hand. And he had CDs, and I'm like, he's like, oh man, I was listening to this CD, and I'm like, get rid of that thing, man. Like, oh man. But anyways, so just over the years, every time we toured through Alabama, anytime we were close, we would stop there, and it was just like stopping in with our family, and it was just there were times when he'd get more and more into building, and I've got a few of his earliest Crumley casters here, which maybe I'll pull out here on this next tune and show you. This is one of his first guitars that he built, and I've never seen anything like it before or since. It's made out of two cookie sheets, like like baking pans. And he screwed them together, and he painted it blue to match his Harley, which he had a Harley in his what easy Electra Glide Harley, which was like his it's like that's his Harley. That's his baby right there. And it was the same color, so he gave this to me, and it even has the silver paint, which kind of matches the chrome and all of that. And we talked a lot about building guitars. We built a lot of guitars together. This one, I remember early on, I said, Keith, you can't attach a headstock like that. He's just got a straight cut right here. And he's like, well, I put some glue on there. The glue's going to be good. I'm like, Keith, the glue's not going to be good. You have to learn how to do like a scarf joint or something. And he was kind of fighting me for a little while because it's a little more difficult to do that. But he's like, well, what if I put this piece of metal back here? And it's like, no, Keith, we're going to have to build some guitars together and get this straight. So we had a lot of fun doing that. And I'm going to plug this baby in here. play a little something for Keith. I got a request from Ed Phillips for a little Amazing Grace, so I'm gonna start it out by playing a little Amazing Grace on this Crumley caster here. Checked up. All right, here we go. Oh, well, again, I think we all know, I'm going to say it, but we miss Keith a lot. And I think, Nikki and I have been talking a lot about it the past couple days, and it's just so important. I think that the main thing is remembering how happy he was and how much he would want us to be happy right now, and celebrate all of the memories we had and that kind of thing. But I really appreciate Ed you requesting that song. I thought the same thing, and I think it's good to just hear that played on his guitar right here, his electric glide. And plus, now we all know what a cookie tin caster, a Crumley caster sounds like. It's funny, like when we were plugged in there, we'd hang out a lot when we went down to visit Keith. And there was one time specifically, and I don't know, is Jeff in the chat? Nikki, do you know? Jeff Williams? But anyways, one time we were down there at Keith's and we were staying for a few days. And this like stray dog, this really, really nice little stray dog, but he was big. It was kind of like a golden retriever mix, I think, something like that. A lab, yeah, like with a golden hair. He came up and you could see his ribs. He was really like emaciated. He had ticks all over him and everything. And Nikki, like she always does when she finds an animal like that, takes the ticks off of it, cares for it. Huh? She said, I did that to you too, Justin. Yeah, pretty much. Literally, I guess, a few times. But anyways, Nikki really wanted to take care of this dog, and we were there, and so we got it. We took it to the vet, got it neutered, and there was nowhere to take this dog. Like Keith and the family already had several dogs, like several cats, and this was definitely like an outside animal, and so Nikki went online. No, first of all, we took it to the vet, got it neutered, got it a name tag. She named it Gypsy, and just put Keith's phone number on the tag. So, like at night, this dog would still go roam around the neighborhood in the countryside. But she figured, well, if anyone finds it, they're going to be like, oh, this is someone's dog at least. and its name's Gypsy, and they'll call the number. And so, and she didn't, I don't think she even told Keith she did this. He saw it. He saw the name tag. And so, not only are we just there living in his front yard, basically, but then we also just adopt the local stray animals and put his phone number on their name tag. And, and so he was a great sport about it, of course. But, we knew that we would have to find this animal like a forever home. And there was someone who actually we decided, agreed to adopt it in Coleman there in the neighborhood, and then took it back a few days later. Was like, no, actually, can you guys come get this? And we were halfway down to the Gulf of Mexico by then, and we drove back to pick him up again and keep looking for a home. So he was living in the RV, which is this tiny little RV. And we didn't have a working generator, and it was the dead middle of winter. And so it was 100 degrees outside.
You said he was living in this RV.
We were living there too. Yeah, it wasn't just the dog. Three of us were living together. And when I say it was a puppy, but it was, I think, 90 pounds. It was huge. And he was not trained. He was totally wild. But he was super nice. He just had a nice nature. But he chewed on everything. And he was really lovable. He really wanted attention. So when I was driving down the highway, this 90-pound dog would come and try to sit on my lap when I was on the interstate. And he'd be licking my face and I'd have to pull over. And we put him on his leash and tried to leash him to the back of the RV so he couldn't get up while I was driving. And he bit through the leash in about 3 seconds. And then we didn't have anything else to hold him with. So we tied what was left of the leash to a belt that I had, a leather belt. And it took him maybe 2 minutes to chew through the leather belt and come up again. So he chewed through all my belts. And luckily, Nikki posted online if anyone would want to adopt this dog. And Jeff Williams, who hopefully a lot of you guys know, Jeff Williams said he would adopt. He had a little dog daycare unofficially in his yard anyways. And so he said he'd come and take him. We brought him there, and he's still living with Jeff now. So he found a really loving home out there. Yeah, he literally, like Nikki said, he ate half of our RV because Jeff lived in Texas and Keith lived in, Alabama. And so in taking him down to Texas, he literally ate half of our RV. Pretty much all of Jeff's house after that. Yeah. He was eating Jeff's couches, his shoes, but he's got a loving home down there. Jeff's
He stopped eating.
Yeah. Well, once he had a home, he started learning there were rules and that kind of thing. And so, but again, just think about all these different stories with Keith and just all the fun we got into. And I've been seeing a lot of pictures. We've been posting some pictures of when Keith came out to the Juke Joint Festival. Speaking of Jeff too, Jeff Williams was out there with us, and we all had a great time. I was in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and it's kind of like the birthplace of blues. And I see all these pictures with Keith, and he was dancing in the street, all of that, like it was Mardi Gras. And but he had that Johnny Cash shirt on, and he was a big Johnny Cash fan. So I'm gonna do a little Johnny Cash medley too here for old Crumley. Oh yeah, a little cash medley for you. Hey, you guys, I want to ask you a quick technical question. Are you guys getting like a solid connection here on this live stream? I want to make sure it's not cutting out. I was having a little technical difficulty earlier on the masterclass live stream, so I just want to make sure this is coming through good. Good, a little spotty, says Peter. I want to see overall because I'm trying to figure out the best way to do these live streams, and a lot of times I don't know exactly how they're coming through to you guys, you know, because they seem real solid on my computer here. So I just want to make sure. Okay, great. Because sometimes it's your guys' service or internet, sometimes it's mine. So I just want to make sure. I appreciate the feedback. If you guys are getting like cutting in and out, then let me know, just let me know quickly or something like that, just like spotty or something. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting the best signal from me as possible. Thank you. I appreciate it. It looks like you guys are getting a good one. Cool. All right. So Beth Gunter out there requested a little ZZ Top, and I'm going to do that next. I'm going to retune the guitar in honor of, unfortunately, you know, another great person passing, and someone else who we want to send our love and give them a little tribute to. So this one is for Dusty Hill from ZZ Top, but I'm going to retune the guitar here and do a little tush. How many of you guys too thought they said touch in the lyrics? Like when you heard that song on the radio, you know, I'm just looking for some touch. And I think it's because he had to rhyme tush with much. You know, I ain't asking for, otherwise he would have said, I ain't asking for much. I ain't asking for mush. Like that would have sounded really weird. So I guess you just make those compromises as a singer. You know what I mean? That's why I'm instrumental, because I make no compromises. But yeah, there was like Dusty Hill was a fantastic singer too, and I mean, he sang. I think Tush was his big hit as a singer. Like he sang that one as opposed to Billy Gibbons. He sang most of the songs, but man, they both, what a great band. They all, like, for a 3-piece band to have that much power and to be that talented is such a rare thing. It's so cool, and he will definitely be missed. Okay, I'm gonna do some tush like it's an old blues song. God, I love that. Love that tune. They're like the kings. ZZ Top's like the kings of that nice shuffle. You know that. As many times as it's been done, you know, they just do it in such a thick and rocking kind of way. I love it. What's that? Oh, there's a button on the back. It's like a left and right button, and then you have to hit enter on it. So it says 4 buttons on top. The 2 buttons in the middle change colors. Nikki's changing colors on my lighting right now, in case you're wondering who I'm talking to. Jackie and Kathy back here rocking out. I heard them. I don't think you could hear it over the microphone, but they were actually playing some pretty killer lead guitar on their Crumley casters back there. Kathy actually Kathy is is a great guitar player. She's got her PRS parlor guitar, which I think you guys have seen in some pictures, and she's been teaching Jackie some of my finger picking instruction. Actually, he's more of a loud and proud kind of dude when it comes to playing. A little punk rocky, but I'd say you know. He doesn't like when I say that sounded like punk rock. I mean more the attitude of what he plays is very punk rocky, and but it sounds better than punk rock. Jackie, he said stop saying punk rock about him playing guitar. He's got the attitude, the rock and roll attitude, and Kathy is very articulate as a guitarist though. She's been teaching him some mad chops. It's been really good. All right, let's see. I'm liking your guys' comments here. What's that? Oh, she changed the color to Fireball Red. That's a good call. I like that. You guys have any song requests out there? Cheers. Yeah, anytime we say Fireball, you guys have to drink out there. I don't care if it's coffee, whatever it is. Fireball. I know Rebecca's out there like, oh shucks, I've got to drink again. Yeah. Oh, will the circle be unbroken? Yeah, I could definitely do that. Let me get my tuner. Was that? Oh, another story about Keith. I always call him Crumley. Another story about Crumley is he came up with us, me and Nikki and Papa. I think he actually drove with Papa, I think, and stayed with him at the campground. So Nikki and I were still living in the gypsy van, and Papa's got an RV too. Papa Richard Day, I think that's what his name is here on the chat. I'm not sure, but we went up to one of the years when I was playing up at the St. Louis Cigar Box Guitar Festival. Keith came up, and I always loved, like, you know, we were traveling full time. We've been all over the world, all over the country, like back and forth. And Keith had really not been too far from Coleman, Alabama, where he lived. And so I think that wasn't St. Louis like the farthest he'd been from home, I think, at the time, or the farthest north. But I think anytime someone's from the South and they go out of the South, the first thing they do is they go to a restaurant and order sweet tea. And when you know you're out of the South, when they're like, you mean like tea, like iced tea? And he was like, yeah, like sweet tea. And they're like, what? And it was like the look on his face, I can still see it, was priceless. I just love that memory of him ordering, not being able to get sweet tea for the first time on his road trip there. That was awesome. But he brought his Crumley casters up there. He didn't have a booth at the festival, but he was kind of going rogue. He didn't have a booth, I don't think. He was acting like he had a booth. He had a booth in the trunk of his car. So he had a few roaming Crumley casters around. And want to make a deal, like on the side. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we hung out at the campground afterwards, and just having a good old time. Got some good pictures from that one too. I'm so glad that we have cell phones now to take pictures whenever we want. Share them with you guys on Facebook. So I got a the house wine of the South. Rebecca said, I love it. Sweet tea. So I got a request for Will the Circle Be Unbroken? So I'm gonna play that one, and I'm gonna go through it nice and slow first to make sure I remember all those notes. There's one note off on my tuning. There it is. I'm still half in open G tuning from that last song. There we go. I'm firing my guitar tech. Not you, Nikki. That was me. That was a great request. Thanks for asking for that one. Getting a man, that's a good one. Huh?
Lived in his parking lot, in his driveway for a couple of months, and we'd be about to go to sleep, and we're here smoking the water.
Yeah.
In the workshop.
Yeah.
Wanted to play.
That's always like sometimes we'd come like late on the road over to Keith's house and like we wouldn't want to wake him up or anything if he was asleep or anything. We come in and plug into his workshop like we were used to over the years. Huh?
For a couple months.
Yeah, we'd come there for like weeks, months at a time sometimes and hang out and he's just always been so open to letting us be there and sharing that time together was really magical. And it was like, like I said, we'd drive in late and then plug in and Nikki and I would be in the RV, like making dinner or popping popcorn or something like that. Or going to sleep sometimes. But and then we'd hear something in the distance, like in the workshop. We'd look out and the workshop lights would be on and we'd hear a little and it would like get a little louder. And we'd hear it for a while, like Keith would be in there playing, like cranking up his amp just a little bit louder. I think just to let us know that he was up in case we wanted to come in and hang out, like he didn't want to bother us. We didn't want to bother him just pulling into town. And that was like his, it was like a bird call or something. What'd you say?
His entrance call.
Yeah. Like his just like his entrance music, like one of those wrestlers that has their like song that, and like, it was just like, every time you'd hear it, you'd know, well, let's like go hang out with Keith. Like Keith is up. And we're gonna, let's see. I'm gonna try to simulate the moment for you here with a soundtrack on a Crumley caster. So I got to retune this puppy. This is a 4-string. Normally he made mostly 3 strings, so he made some 4 strings. But this one, let me get this puppy in proper tuning here for this audio journey you're about to go on. Yeah, so just imagine yourself hours on the road, pulling into Coleman, Alabama late at night.
Usually through a tornado.
Huh?
Usually through a tornado.
Yeah, usually through what, to us at least, every time feels like the biggest tornado ever, which is generally like mild weather in Coleman, Alabama. It's just like straight line winds and tornado warnings all the time. But and then we'd get in, we'd finally be like, we made it, after a long journey. And then, we'd be kind of easing into getting comfortable after plugging into Keith's workshop. And then you'd hear that muffled through the walls. Just like beckoning you closer. And then you'd be thinking like, Okay, I think it stopped. Like maybe he went to bed, and then it'd be like. And then he'd go into like double time. And we're like, let's go hang out with Keith. we gotta go chill out. Throw a couple fireballs back. Another story too. I got get this one out when he was out at the Juke Joint Festival. You know, he likes Fireball because it's like his namesake drink. But he also liked, he really liked Angry Orchard hard ciders, which is like, Keith, don't you get picked on in Alabama for liking hard ciders? You know, and it was like, but he could disarm anybody, so he could drink any kind of drink, no matter how kind of girly it was, I guess, and everyone accepted it, which was like one of the powers that he had. He's like a superhero when it comes to that. But it was me and Nikki and Keith and Jeff Williams. And Jeff Williams' longtime buddy Paul, who was part of the Smoke and Mirrors project, he helped Jeff with the video, and he was in town too. And so it sounded like like we were at Ground Zero Bar in Clarksdale, Mississippi during the Juke Joint Festival, and you got like 5 of the most different looking people you could imagine just walking up to the bar, and we're like, "What do you guys want to drink?" And apparently when you, like Keith was excited about getting this drink, apparently when you mix Fireball, which is like cinnamon flavored whiskey, with Angry Orchard apple flavored beer, you get like a cinnamon apple effect. But unfortunately, Fireball mixed with Angry Orchard is called an Angry Ball. So he's like, let's get 5 Angry Balls. And so it was one of the weirdest experiences I ever had in Clarksdale, Mississippi, going up to the busy bartender and asking for 5 Angry Balls. And then looking at the look she gave me, I thought she'd know what I was talking about, but she did not. It took quite a bit of explaining that I think she thought I was pranking her or something when I asked for that. So that was nice. That was another good memory. The old Angry Balls. But here's another gem from the a Crumley caster here. This one was one of the I don't know if he numbered this one or not. Let me see. This was a box he got from, I think, like one of those hobby stores, and Hobby Lobby box. He wrote inside, built June 2015. Hope you enjoy playing it. I enjoyed building it. That's what it says on the inside. That's awesome. Keith Crumley. And so one of the weird things with this one, though, is like he was still working out how he was going to build a bridge. And if you tilt this bridge a certain way, it sounds like a sitar. The funny thing is, like, it's almost impossible to get a guitar to sound like a sitar. I studied it for a while, and there's actually a technique with the people traditionally in India who build sitars. The hardest part is to build a bridge. And one of the steps in doing it is literally praying that the bridge will work the way that you intended to. That's like the first step in building a sitar bridge. And so Keith managed to do it out of just luck. And it depends on like the humidity in the room. Like sometimes it sounds like one, sometimes it doesn't. But if you guys haven't seen the video of Keith dancing, like when I first fired this baby up in his workshop, I don't know who's teaching Middle Eastern dance lessons in Central Alabama, but Keith is pretty good at it. Like he pulled a robe out of nowhere and started doing like this Middle Eastern dance, belly dancing routine. Pretty impressive. So I'm gonna try to do some conjure that snake charming moment right here. Oh yeah, a little snake charmer action there on the Hobby Lobby guitar. Never know what you're gonna get with these. I love it. But I think he tried to recreate that guitar a few times, and it's pretty tricky. I don't know if he said the prayer ahead of time on some of those future ones. I hope some of you were coming up with your own dances out there on that one. Look at that tuner again. Let me know if you guys have any other requests while we're here hanging out still. And I know Bjorn's been having a good time with his Crumley caster out there. I think his is
Kathy belly dancing.
What you saw? Kathy was belly dancing back there? Doesn't surprise me. So that's why sometimes I'll be playing and I'm like, I want to look at what's going on the screen behind me, and it throws me off though. Never seen that. I'm gonna have to watch that on the replay. See. Peter, I like that request. For Lights Out Last Call, the parting glass there from Margie. These are great. I'm trying to remember these songs. It's a lot of those tunes on Turquoise Trail came from moments where it's just a kind of calm moment and just kind of playing what comes out. So in lieu of knowing the remembering the exact melody and chords for that, I'm just going to try to play something for you guys, maybe in that style, and with that feeling, in the present moment. That's, you know, a lot of times when I'm writing songs, that's the kind of I guess mood, you know, and you kind of get in a mood and you play something, you have a feel to it, and it's almost like you're writing the soundtrack for that moment, you know, and these directions you kind of take with the music in the moment, and your feelings that lead you there is what that kind of spark of inspiration is, and you can never really guess where it's going to go, but I always love that feeling, and that's why I always love, like with Turquoise Trail, for example, and we've shared some of those videos too previously in some of these Patreon posts, you know, where a song starts out as just like a vibe or a vamp or a feeling, and then after listening to it back, it's like there's where the melody is, that's where the actual song lies, you know, and then fleshing that out and kind of making that into something that's taking that moment of inspiration and I guess taking it a step further into something like that. But I'm glad that you found it was healing too, Peter. That's awesome. Fireball. Cheers, you guys. just having some fun here, messing around.